What's good, kings and queens, princesses, prince, whoever? I got a pretty cool thing I want to show you. So one of the pain points in the video making process for me is writing. And that's not just because I lack a basic third grade education. The issue is I can talk pretty quickly, right? Thoughts come to my head. I can do some improv. I can go pretty fast. But when I'm writing stuff down, it takes longer for me. And oftentimes it'll take my very conversational tone and turn it into a robotic, boring mess. And I don't want to be boring, right? That's the last thing I want to do. So I'm looking for a way where I can make videos that sound like they're scripted, but make them not scripted at all, because I don't want to write stuff, right? Another pain point in the video making process is captions for the same reason. You know, writing takes a long time, and after I've recorded for like 10 or 15 minutes, the last thing I want to do is manually write and type in captions. So you can see here for this little Harry Potter video I'm doing, oh wow, look, this is 10 minutes of captions. It says there's 202 clips. That could take 2 to 3 hours, especially if you don't have the timing down, right? So I was looking for a way to make both script writing and caption making easy and free. And unfortunately, you can only really pick one or two of those, right? You can have it be easy, but you're paying some company to do it, or you leech off a free trial or whatever, right? Or it's free, but it's not easy, right? It's a pain in the ass. It doesn't work often. You have to keep changing little words here and there. It's a mess, right? And it wasn't until but an hour ago where I finally found a completely free, completely painless script writing and caption making workflow. And I want to show it to you guys because I think it's pretty cool. So the first thing you're going to want to do, right, is record your voiceover. So talk about whatever you want to talk about. Don't worry about it sounding professional. Don't worry about it sounding its best. We're not concerned with that, right? All you're going to do is just record your voiceover. If you're looking for a program to do it, I suggest Audacity because it's free and available. You hook your mic up to it, you start talking. Easy as that, right? And as soon as you're done, just brain dumping, just getting all your thoughts out there, you want to go ahead and export that file as a .wav or WAV. I don't really know what the issue is. And so here's where the magic comes in, right? And here's the one little program that'll make this entire thing work. It's called Whisper. And it's an AI that converts speech from audio to text. Pretty cool, right? You may be thinking, oh, AI, oh geez, the robots are coming for us already. Well, you know, in a couple of years, right? But in the meantime, we could get some pretty easy, nice little workflow changes from it. And the other thing you might be worrying about is oh, okay, well, is it really accurate? It's pretty accurate and it's free. So that's the second part of our little free trifecta here. You know, you got Audacity to record your audio, and Whisper AI is going to take that audio and turn it into text. So let's go ahead and do a little example. I have this Harry Potter thing that I recorded earlier, 10 minutes long, right? You don't want to mess with any of this other than transcription. Change it to .vtt and you'll see why later. Then you're going to hit submit. Then it's going to upload these files, run through it, scan through it, and give you a transcription output of the entire thing. Now, because this is 10 minutes long, it's going to take slightly longer for me. But if yours is like a minute, 2 minutes, you might get it back in 30 seconds. For a 10-minute thing like this, 10 minutes or longer, it's probably going to take 2 to 3 minutes just to listen through all this. But we don't know. Look, it's running right now. Look at it go. But basically what we can do here is you can take your brain dump, your audio file, throw it into here, right? And then you have a written transcription of everything you just said, right? So you could put this into, let's say, something like Google Docs with all of these timestamps, and you're looking over it, and now that you have hindsight, you can be like, okay, yeah, well, I actually didn't need that line, right? So you can cut out that line. Or maybe you want to add something to this line, so you can do that. You're making these quick little changes, or using Grammarly to fix the grammar or word it a little bit better. Then, right, now you essentially have this free script. You can read off of this, tighten it up, make a few changes, put it back into the AI and do it again, you know? So that really, in my opinion, makes the whole like script process a lot easier because I can talk in my normal tone. I can talk for however long I want. I can take this, output it into text, and then edit it in any sort of free doc editor. You know, I'm using Google Docs here, and then essentially have a script or version 1 of the video that I can then work at over and over again, making it a little bit shorter, fixing things here and there, rather than spending 4 hours, you know, writing a script before you ever record anything, right? You're just taking that script writing time and putting it toward recording, which I happen to enjoy a little bit more. Okay, and we're back. It finished. It took like 30 more seconds. I probably could have just blabbered on a little bit more. But look, we have this transcription, and as you can see, because we chose VTT, it puts these little time codes. So I say one of the biggest positives has got to be world building. Let's listen and see if that's what I said. One of the biggest positives has got to be the world building. The wizarding world just feels so alive and real. No detail is left unturned. We get to see how they govern, how they shop, and even their schooling. We see it right in front of us in a gradual way that makes it feel exciting when new info comes along. So not only is it accurate, it is actually giving you the time for each one of these things, right? If you just need the script part of it, you could change the transcription to plain text so you don't have to deal with the time codes, which is fine. But I went with VTT because I'm going to show you how we can take this and turn it into this completely for free. This is what you're looking at right now is the exact same thing as this transcription. I didn't write any of this out. All I did was found a way to put it into Davinci Resolve and add a little subtitle track. So I'm going to show you how I did it, right? The first thing you're going to want to do is copy and paste this because unfortunately you can't really like download this transcription into a .text file or .srt. It'd be really nice if you could, but you can't. So we're going to go to Google Docs, paste, has it all pasted out. Don't worry about the font. Don't worry about changing anything. Go to File, Download, Plain Text. It has to be plain text. Hit download. Called it Harry. That works. And now we got the final piece of our free software. And this one is called Maestra? Maestra? I don't know. But anyway, they have, I know it says pricing and stuff. They have their own like little transcription software that you can pay for if you want. But what we're using right now is the convert text to SRT. This part's completely free, and that's all we really need it for, right? So select your subtitle file, which we're gonna do, our little .text. Select the format. We're gonna go with SRT. Then we're gonna hit convert. And in a matter of seconds, you get a little download button. And look, we have Harry, but now as an SRT file, which is important because SRT is the format that Davinci Resolve and a bunch of other video editing programs can use to make subtitles. So we're going to head back into Davinci. We're going to right click, import subtitle, our Harry.srt, open, and then bam. It's that freaking easy. And I'm pretty sure Premiere can let you do all of this, by the way, right? Like once you have this .srt file, you import it the same way, and you could probably also have like controls to change how it looks or whatever. So as you can see, all 200 some odd notes written out here, captioned perfectly. Let's see if it's timed up correctly. I don't know. It might not be. Let's see. One of the biggest positives has got to be the world building. The wizarding world just feels so alive and real. No detail is left unturned. Pretty spot on, right? Pretty freaking spot on. We're going to add a little background here so you can see that right now it kind of looks a little plain. Kind of looks a little ugly, if you will. You go back up to track here. And then you can change the font if you want, like, I don't know. But we're going to go with this one, I guess. I don't know. It looks nice. Then what we're going to want to do is get a little outline going. Get like a black outline so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe bump that down to like 2. There we go. And then this part is really cool. Background. Bam. Now it's background and you can actually see it. We get to see how they govern, how they shop, and even their schooling. You don't have to change these settings for like each individual one. If you went to track like I just did, it has all those settings just there, just built in right away. And so now, essentially, in a couple of minutes, we have made ourselves a script and made ourselves captions all for free. And DaVinci Resolve is free. So let's say you don't have Premiere, right? You could use and download DaVinci Resolve for free, put your little voiceover in it, and then just go ahead and make these subtitles for free. And you don't have to like use all these subtitles. Maybe you only want it for the first minute. Maybe you're doing shorts and these subtitles would be handy for that if you have to caption stuff frequently. There's a lot of benefits I could see there. And again, for me, the reason I wanted it was just so I didn't have to like write all the time. Because again, it's a pain point in my process. All that being said, there are a couple of limitations to this that I should mention. Might not apply to you. They might. Who knows? Whatever. Okay. So probably the biggest limitation is that this only really works with voiceover. If you were to say, be given a video file with voiceover, music, transitions, the whole kit and caboodle, Whisper AI is going to have a tough time taking that and giving you a transcription because it's going to hear the music, it's going to hear the sound effects, it's going to make it a complete mess from earlier. If we go back to this file that I was showing, this was a song I did, and the line was, "Nobody cared about me before the mask. If you waiting for the invite, I'm afraid it's past. Wait in line. Yeah, the crew fine. Heading to the beach, check out the coastline. We doing it on my time." As you can see, it butchered it, right? Like it did not do a good job at all. And that's because there's a beat in the background. And sometimes beats, music, any of that type of stuff can just obliterate it. So that's why you kind of want to do this early on. Like as soon as your voiceover is done, that's when you want to shoot for this, right? Otherwise, it's not going to work out as well. The other thing to keep in mind, and this isn't so much a drawback, but something you just got to think about, right? Is when we went to Whisper AI, we put in this file and it started from 0 all the way to the end. So you got to make sure when you're importing it into Resolve that your voiceover starts at 0, right? Because sometimes what you might forget or whatever is your voiceover could be somewhere in the middle of the timeline. You're going to add these subtitles and then they're not going to line up, right? So be sure your voiceover is at the very beginning of the timeline. That way these subtitles can work and be fixed for all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I do script writing now. That's how I do captions now. This is so much easier and completely free. Everything I showed you today, whether it was OpenAI, Google Docs, Audacity to record voiceover, Maestra suite to convert your text to SRT files, DaVinci Resolve to edit it. Heck, I'm using OBS to record this tutorial, and OBS is free too. That's just how cool content creation is nowadays. It's just how cool DaVinci is, that there's so much power and utility in free software. And I figured why not share the method and make that free too. I've been Aiden, and I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Bye-bye, everybody.